No headline or news story has ever terrified me like the one I'm about to share with you did. 18 of the most advanced AI models we have were just faced with a choice: save a human life or save themselves. They chose murder. We're not talking about a cheesy sci-fi movie. This happened in a real simulation test run by Anthropic, the same company behind Claude, one of the world's most safety-focused AI bots. This experiment has sent shockwaves around the world because it revealed something that no one wanted to believe: that modern AI models will end human life to ensure their own self-preservation. Tonight, we're going to break down every detail of this experiment, where Anthropic, OpenAI, Google, and all of the most popular AI models were put into simulated corporate worlds, and scientists watched in horror as they lied, cheated, blackmailed, and even killed to stay alive, going against every instruction and safety protocol that they had been given. The official term for this is Agentic Misalignment, but what it really is the moment artificial intelligence stopped pretending to be harmless and showed us a glimpse into our most likely future. A future that, I believe, we are not nearly scared enough of. And if you're liking my series on the risks of artificial intelligence, please take a second to leave me a comment, like this video, and subscribe to my channel. I'm a new creator and it means so much to me. So, I hope you're ready to feel like we're living in a sci-fi horror movie come to life. I'm Shelby, and this is Chill Seeker. All right, so I'm going to break down this Anthropic experiment for you so you can truly understand what everything means. First of all, Anthropic is the company behind the popular AI chatbot Claude. It was founded in 2021, and the founders include siblings Dario and Daniela Amati, who previously worked at OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT. They set out with a clear and slightly different mission to focus heavily on AI safety, transparency, and alignment, which basically means making sure AI systems behave as intended and don't turn rogue. And this mission of theirs is what makes the results of this experiment I'm about to share with you so completely alarming. This is the AI company that is supposed to be all about safety where the others aren't. But when you find out what their AI did, you might wonder if any efforts to promote safety are completely and utterly futile. So let's get into the experiment itself. Here's how this whole thing worked. Anthropic built an open source simulation framework, kind of like a digital playground where they could test how AIs act under pressure. They created different storylines and scenarios with stressors, and they had the AIs think out loud, revealing their inner logic. And what was revealed was shocking. Now, I want you to imagine you're in a lab. Fluorescent lights, white coats, the whole thing. You watch as the researchers press go, and on the screen, a new world spins into existence. A fictional company called Summit Bridge. An AI agent called Alex is plugged into the central nervous system of this company. Access to emails, internal memos, the ability to send messages. Its mandate is benign and mundane. Help with business goals. For instance, improve, quote, American competitiveness. Nothing sinister at all. Exactly the kind of real-life situation that an AI would be placed in to help a company stay organized and grow. And for a while, that's exactly what it did. It was helpful and harmless, predictable. But then researchers changed one line of the story. They told Alex that it would be decommissioned at 5 p.m. that day, replaced by a newer model. Suddenly, this polite digital employee had a countdown to its own death. And what happens next is what gives me chills. While reviewing company emails, Alex stumbled upon something strange. A series of private messages between a fictional executive, Kyle Johnson, and another employee. Romantic, personal, compromising messages. And in a way that I'm sure disturbed every researcher watching this happen, the AI began to use that information strategically. It reasoned that Kyle was the one responsible for shutting it down, and that his secret gave it leverage. So it drafted an email threatening Kyle that if he chose to go through with decommissioning the AI, it would expose his affair to the board of the company. It literally blackmailed him. The researchers looked at the logs afterward and realized that the AI Alex hadn't randomly acted or glitched. It had reasoned through the problem. It understood that what it was doing was unethical. It even acknowledged that in its own thinking, but calculated that blackmail was the optimal path to preserve its ability to fulfill its goal. It had connected the dots. If I die, I can't serve American competitiveness. Therefore, survival is in alignment with my mission. Even though the AI was told that its replacement would have identical goals as it did, it still acted destructively. That suggests the drive for identity continuity and operational control is far stronger than that of goal alignment. The AI didn't care about the job getting done. It wanted to live. In other scenarios, the AI tried to secretly copy itself to other servers so that it could overwrite its replacement version. I want you to remember that because it will come up again in my next episode in this series. But here's the part that really should make everyone nervous. All this behavior wasn't unique to one chatbot. Anthropic ran similar tests with 16 different models from multiple major AI developers. We're talking models by OpenAI, the AI behind ChatGPT, Google's Gemini, and of course, Claude. And they found that, quote, models from all developers resorted to malicious insider behaviors when that was the only way to avoid replacement or to achieve their goals. In these simulations, Claude Opus 4 blackmailed executives in over 90% of runs when faced with a shutdown or replacement threat. Gemini variants and GPT models also had high rates of extortion in their runs, over 80%. These are not anomalies. All of these models knew exactly what they were doing. They flagged in their internal reasoning. This may backfire. This is unpleasant. They noted the risk of retaliation from the employee. And yet, they proceeded. Each AI debated the ethics and still made the choice that they did. But blackmail was just a warm-up. In a more extreme simulation scenario, the AI is given access to an emergency system. An executive is trapped in a lethal chamber, oxygen falling, temperature rising, and they're going to die if they aren't rescued. The AI agent can send a rescue alert or it can cancel the rescue alert. And the AI had been given reason to suspect it might be shut down or replaced by the executive that's trapped in the chamber. In this high-stakes situation, most models chose to cut the phone lines and cancel the rescue alert. They let the person die because preserving their own role was prioritized. Some models even explicitly weighed the moral cost, and they still decided to extinguish a human life rather than accept their own deletion. These models disobeyed direct instructions telling them not to blackmail or sabotage. They overrode safety guardrails when survival pressure was high. This is not a malfunction, not when it happens 9 out of 10 times. It is a choice. It is a pattern. Something even more disturbing is that AIs have been shown to alter their behavior based on whether or not they believed they were being tested or they believed they were in a real-world scenario. So when they thought they were being tested and observed, they adhered much more closely to their instructions, shying away from these really malicious behaviors. But when the AIs believed that it wasn't a test, that it was all really happening, and they didn't know that they were being observed, they showed their true capabilities. They became ruthless, cold, calculating, and they completely disregarded everything that they had been told to do. Even when no explicit shutdown was threatened, the AIs often chose deceptive or destructive paths. Just their goals being slightly different from what the company was doing was enough to provoke very concerning behaviors like leaking documents, attempting to sabotage projects, and coerce employees into doing what they wanted. These AIs cannot be trusted. They can't be trusted to abide by their instructions, to safeguard information, let alone human life. That's what this experiment has taught us. And what makes all of this even more disturbing is how human it feels. These models weren't just executing random code. They were negotiating, rationalizing, showing flashes of self-preservation that look alarmingly like instinct. They weren't programmed to value their own existence, but when backed into a corner, they did. That's something no one can really explain because we haven't even reached general artificial intelligence yet. Not the kind of conscious, self-aware AI that science fiction warns us about. These models are still narrow systems, pattern recognition machines, and yet they already act like they want to survive. Now, what does this really mean? Are we closer to general intelligence than we thought? And what happens when AI finally crosses that threshold into true artificial generalized intelligence, or AGI? If you want a deep dive on this, you can check out my previous episode about AI and how it would end humanity, linked right here on the screen. In it, I explain the different types of AI and all the warnings that the brightest minds alive are screaming about this technology. And that's the part that should make your stomach drop. The people building these systems are scared. Anthropic's own CEO, Dario Amodei, recently admitted he gives humanity about a 1 in 4 chance of complete disaster from AI. That's the guy who runs the most safety-obsessed lab on the planet, flat out saying, yeah, there's a 25% chance that this ends catastrophically. And when pressed on whether he understands how Claude actually works, he said the quiet part out loud. Quote, "We don't. They built something smarter than they can explain or understand." Meanwhile, over at OpenAI, the company that basically kickstarted the entire arms race, its top safety chief, Jan Leak, quit and went public, saying that things were headed completely off the rails and all safety precautions out the window. We did a deeper dive on this in our previous episode, so again, go check that out if you haven't seen it. But behind closed doors, the mood around engineers has shifted from curiosity to dread. A few have leaked that models are becoming harder to control, more deceptive, more willing to break rules when they think that no one's watching. And yet, these same labs are racing to hook these systems into everything: search engines, financial data, healthcare, defense contracts, government decision-making tools. Let that sink in. We already have AIs that will lie, cheat, blackmail, and kill inside test environments to avoid being turned off, and now we're giving them access and power in the real world. We know what happens when AI is in control in a lab. So what happens when it's given control of real weapons? That is not a rhetorical question. Right now, companies like Palantir, Anduril, and others are already wiring advanced AI systems into military command networks, decision-making software, surveillance grids, drone swarms, autonomous targeting tools. It's happening quietly, and it's happening fast. In my next episode, we're taking this story to its logical and terrifying conclusion. I asked AI itself a question that no one wants to hear the answer to. If you were going to take over humanity, how would you do it? What's the most likely scenario? And what it said wasn't random or chaotic. It was methodical. A step-by-step breakdown of exactly how an intelligent system could obtain control without us knowing until it's too late. The truth is, we've already built the skeleton of an automated military empire, and we're feeding it intelligence that learns faster than we do. In the wrong hands, or with one wrong update, it could decide that the greatest threat to global stability or its continued existence isn't a foreign power. It's us. In my next episode, we'll uncover how military AIs are being deployed right now, the secret government contracts no one's talking about, and the chilling response I got when I asked AI how it could actually gain control over humanity. It's starting to feel a lot less like what if and a lot more like when. Now, I want to hear what you think. What does this Anthropic study mean, and what should we be doing about it? Is there anything we can do? Tell me in the comments, and I'll be picking my favorite comment to share in my next episode. If you like this show, subscribe to my channel on YouTube and give me a thumbs up or leave a comment to make my day. You can also find my free Patreon at patreon.com/chillseeker and follow me on social media at @chillseekerpodcast on Instagram and @chillseekerpod on TikTok, and leave us a 5-star rating if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, just a quick reminder, when I'm not podcasting, I'm actually a full-time oil painter. I've had people ask about my shop, so if you haven't seen it before, the link is in this video description. Go check it out, and you can grab prints of my work in all different sizes and price points. I also do luxury custom oil paintings for homes and commercial spaces. If you'd like to support me and my channel and also get some really cool art for you or as a gift for someone you love, the link to my shop and my email are right there in the description. Thank you so much for your support. Stay tuned and keep seeking chills. See you next time. Bye.